Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. Today we have some entitled parent stories and our first story of the day is by Javisha Trio 1, entitled Mother-in-Law Demands We Pay for Our Brother-in-Law's Lifestyle Choices. Background: my husband comes from a poor background, as in he could not attend college because he had to take up a job in our country's defense forces the moment he was 18. I, on the other hand, come from a middle-class family, as in could attend college and even have a master's degree, but nothing super fancy. We were married, arranged marriage, when I was 24 and he was 25. Before our marriage, all my husband's salary went directly to his family. That means 7 years of income, people, a major part of which actually went to his brother-in-law as he was too special to find a job. Also could not keep one for longer than a year. When I came to my husband's house, my brother-in-law already had 4 children with his wife, pregnant with the 5th. My brother-in-law's credit was a mess as he had already taken multiple loans for funding his alcoholic, holier-than-thou lifestyle, and my husband was a complete pushover with no spine of his own to speak up for himself. It took me 2 years and a toddler, blessed with a baby boy, to force him to grow a spine as now he had a family of his own and he needed to care for it. I had to make him understand that he can no longer send 90% of our income to his brother and force us to the brink of bankruptcy as his brother cannot afford his own lifestyle. Slowly and slowly, my husband stopped sending them any money as his parents had enough income to maintain themselves, and it was high time for his brother to get off his lazy butt and do some crap. Main story. Now this is the main event that took place about 5 years ago when my husband was 30. That forced us to go no contact with my in-laws and a major part of my husband's family. My brother-in-law now had 5 children, blessed with all girls, was on the brink of bankruptcy, and had already used a major part of the inheritance that he was going to be passed down from his parents. This interaction took place on my first 2 nieces' wedding. They had a joint wedding and reception as brother-in-law didn't have the money for 2 separate weddings. Entitled Mother-in-Law to Husband: You should start helping your brother again as he is having a lot of troubles with funds lately. Husband says, We are in a pretty tight spot ourselves, Mom, especially with Ellen, me, pregnant with the 2nd child. Entitled Sister-in-Law says, Well then you should help your brother even more as you know what it feels like to be with a pregnant woman. After all, we are also expecting. I say, what? You are pregnant again? My actual words. Entitled Mother says, What do you mean, daughter-in-law? Aren't you happy? It can actually be a boy this time. Not everyone is as lucky as you who gets a boy on the first chance. Me flabbergasted. What the freak are you talking about? I won't treat a daughter any differently than a son. Entitled Sister-in-Law says, Well, you can say that since you already have a son. Husband says, I don't care about entitled brother-in-law and entitled sister-in-law's lifestyle choices but I can't share any money with them as I have my own family now and we need to save to buy a house, start son's college fund, etc. You don't have any right to speak about your brother like that. He is trying to improve. A lie. He also has responsibilities. Me laughing. Right, as if he knows what responsibilities are. Entitled Sister said, You witch! Her actual words. You dare speak about my husband like that? Everyone was now looking at us. She gets into my face and actually tries to punch a very pregnant me. Husband stopping her mid-air. You dare? She is pregnant, and even if she was not, how could you think that you can punch her? Me, shocked plus angry. We shall leave now. I don't think we are welcome in this wedding anymore. Husband follows me without speaking any other thing. We got so many vile and abusive messages and even threats from his side of the family on how we spoiled our niece's marriage and how family always comes first. Fortunately, we had never given my in-laws our address, and even if they could get it somehow, no one would have had the money for the plane ticket as we lived at the geographically opposite corner of the country at that time. Also, we have shifted twice since then and have blocked out most of his side of the family, leaving out some of his sensible cousins and uncles and aunts, etc., and informed everyone on my side of the family, plus our friends, to maintain absolutely no contact with them. It hurts when it's family, but sometimes you have to. Let me ask you guys, have you experienced a situation like this where you become estranged from some part of your family? You don't have to go into details if you don't want to, but if yes or no, let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious how frequent this is. Our next story is by CT75280. The swings are only for my kid. This story is my account of what happened before Corona. I was on the swings at my country club with my sister one day, just talking and having a good time. I was 7 and my sister was 6-ish. Entitled mother and entitled kid walk up. My angel says you won't let him on the swings, is that true? Me scared, no. Remember, I'm 7 and I'm not used to having angry Karens coming out of nowhere and yelling at me. How dare you call my angel a liar? He told me so and he never lies. Me, still scared, almost shaking. I'm sorry, but I didn't say he couldn't go on the swings. Where is your mother? I need to tell her how rude you were to me and my son. This was the oldest trick in the book. I pointed at the nearest woman and said, her, as fast as possible, and booked it for my real mom. My mom, seeing us run over, says, what happened? Me and my sister say some lady started yelling at us for no reason. My sister didn't talk during the initial Karen attack because she was on the verge of tears. Remember, we are 7 and 6 years old. My mom says, where is she? I need to go talk to her. I say, over there, pointing. My mom walks over to entitled mom, who is now on a lawn chair. Hey, were my kids being disrespectful to you? My mom takes the strategy of killing them with kindness. Yes, they were not letting my kids go on the swings. Oh, I'm sorry, but I saw what happened and I did not see your kids say anything to my kids, and they don't say he did either. Are you calling my son a liar? How dare you? Entitled kid starts running in the background. I take notice and realize what he is doing. He is running directly towards the swings. Me, being the petty little 7-year-old that I was, took off running trying to save our swings. My sister soon realized too and started running. We beat him there by a second and he jumped right on my swing anyway with me on it. I pushed him off and the following ensues. Entitled kid jumps up to the tower next to the swings with a handful of wood chips from the floor of the playground, throws them like carpet bombs, getting me and my sister very dirty. Entitled mother comes running over with my mom close behind. You hurt my baby, you little. My mom says, they are children, watch your mouth. Yes, my mother was that kind of a parent. Well, they hurt him and I will not stand by while you let your kids make all of their own decisions on their own. They are rude and hurtful and should never have been allowed to come here. Keep in mind that this is a members only club and you need a friend to be there already to sponsor you, so it is hard to get into. Entitled mother grabs my arm and throws me off the swings nearly to the ground. Country club employee has seen the whole thing. Ma'am, I'm going to need to ask you to leave this family alone or you will be asked to leave. Your child threw wood chips all over these kids here and they did nothing wrong. It was them, pointing at us. They attacked my kids and were going to attack me. They pushed my baby off the swings and were going to attack me. Country club employee says, ma'am, I'm going to need to ask you to leave. No, it was those little monsters. Now, entitled mother grabs her kids and leaves. Finally. This Karen must have had some nepotism goggles on or something and refused to see blatantly obvious truths there. She was probably lying about the whole thing just so her kids could go on the swing because they wanted to. This stinks for the kids in 2 ways. 1, they had to leave the play area park type thing. They have to deal with being raised by this entitled mother. Our next story is by Unique Harmony 7. Entitled mother demands refund at end of 18A movie because her kids were scared. So back in high school, I worked at a local movie theater. While I worked there, we had a movie called Sweeney Todd debut. For those who don't know, it's a dark comedy musical about a murderous barber who slits throats and cannibals and such. Definitely not a kids movie, thus the 18A rating. An entitled mother used the self-serve ticket machine to purchase tickets for herself and her 2 children, probably around 6 and 9, and off they went to watch the movie. Now, we have movie synopses and ratings posted right at eye level at the self-serve machines, and the various posters and cutouts around the theaters for the movie definitely didn't make it look like a happy Disney movie. Apparently, she just heard musical though and figured it was okay. Now, we have a policy where we will refund or swap a ticket for up to 30 minutes after a movie starts. No questions asked. And having seen the movie myself, I knew the first 5 minutes definitely show exactly what type of movie this is, which is why the exchange I had with entitled mother at the end of the movie was so unbelievable. I demand a refund. We just watched Sweeney Todd and my children were scarred. Points to tear-stained face of 6-year-old girl. I say, I'm so sorry, but unfortunately I can only refund a ticket within 30 minutes of the show beginning. Well, someone should have warned us that this kids movie would be so horrific. Ma'am, the show was clearly labeled 18A at the ticket machine and the synopsis was posted right there. Also, the violence is pretty evident at the beginning. We would have gladly refunded or exchanged your ticket had you come out at 30 minutes, but we can't do anything if you stayed for the whole thing. Entitled mother sputters and makes a whole bunch more excuses why she thought it was going to turn into a more family-friendly one later. Eventually, we gave her a few free popcorn passes for the next time she comes in. I asked my manager why he did that, since she was clearly wrong. He said she didn't buy anything from the concession, so he will give her popcorn passes because next time she comes in, she will use them and 15 minutes later will be forced to a $4 bottle of water or a $6 pop when it makes her and the kids all thirsty. So we'll make more money off her next time. Another story here where I only end up feeling bad for the kids. The mom had multiple opportunities to see that this clearly was not a kid or family-friendly movie. This next story is by 1 in 7 billion, Encountering a Karen on Vacation. I encountered a Karen when I traveled to New York City. This was pre-COVID. I was on my way out of Checkers after ordering to head somewhere to eat with my family. I had a huge order, so everything was placed in a bag. As I was about to exit out of Checkers, Karen comes in with her entitled kid. Me, casually walking out of Checkers. Karen comes in with her child and sees my order. Ooh, I'll take that. She grabs one of the kids' meals bags that was sticking out. What are you doing? That's for me. Oh, come on, you have plenty of kids' meals. I'm sure one of the kids you have can share or they won't even notice it's missing. No, I got a specific kids' meal for different kids and I'm the one who paid for all of it. It's not for you, it's for me. I try getting it out of her hands. Excuse me? This is mine now. You know what? She starts to walk up to the counter. Cashier says, yes, is there a problem? Yeah, that person right there doesn't let me have a kid's meal when he has about 5 more kids' meals. Cashier says, they paid for it, ma'am. It's not yours, it's their meal. What? They need to share. It's unfair. My kid has been waiting an hour to eat. Customer, she gets up from her seat to say something. Look, they paid for the kids' meal fair and square, so it isn't yours to keep. But sharing is caring. Why doesn't she care for others? Me, I come in because you randomly took it from my bag. This isn't all for me, it's for my family. I have a big family and we haven't had lunch. Neither has my son had lunch, let him have it. There is a huge butt line that I'm not going to wait in. Entitled kid says, I deserve it anyway, I got an A on my science test today. I say, I don't care if you did or not. What your mom is doing is wrong. Entitled kid says, well, that's mean. Can I please have it? He makes an annoying puppy face to try to convince me with his cuteness. I say, kid, I'm not going to give it to you. You're not going to convince me with a cute puppy face. How dare you say that to him? I'll have you know. The cashier comes in. Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to give that meal back to the person and leave. If not, I'll call security. Oh, you're kidding me. Fine, you can have it. She practically throws the meal at me and I barely catch it. Just know that I'm never coming here again. You won't ever be having business from me. She gets entitled kid and leaves. I thank the customer and cashier for their help and I finally leave in peace with all of my family's lunch. Shoot, when the Karen said I'm never coming here again, I'm sure the cashier was like, please say you're not kidding. Please tell me you're telling the truth. Please let me know that you will never come back and never give us your business, please. That would be such a godsend. And our final story of the day is by tacosnchilisauce, entitled Mother Demands I Give Her My Dogs Because I Committed the Unforgivable Sin of Letting Them Be Outdoors. This happened last autumn. I was doing some work around and left the dogs outside in the garden. The weather was pleasant, they had water, and it had been around 20 minutes when I hear someone ringing the doorbell multiple times. I go outside to see entitled mother standing outside a little car in which sat her toddler. Your dogs were barking. Yeah, that's kind of what dogs do. They're clearly in distress. I must say it's very cruel of you to leave them out here. Why? The weather's good and I check on them often. What's the issue here? Clearly you're neglecting them, poor babies. If you can't take care of your dogs, give them to me. I'll at least care for them. Are you joking?
No, it makes perfect sense for you to give me your dog since you obviously are unfit to care for them.
Well, by that logic, since you're standing here shrieking at me leaving your kid unattended, you should probably give me the kid.
How dare you? My baby is extremely well cared for. They wanted a dog for so long, and I just think it would be right for you.
Look, unless you're a veterinarian with actual reasons, this conversation is over. Bye.
You're such an insolent kid. You don't deserve any pets. I deserve pets more than you. My kid deserves pets.
Door slams. This whole thing should have been one-minute conversation about how they've only been outside for 20 minutes and they're being supervised, so there's no issue here. Obviously, this entitled mother just wanted to try and steal those dogs for her own, which never would have flown anyways. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an upcoming video from the Storytime channel. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, so no matter what you did, thank you for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time right here.